Just a quick note before I get in with this discussion. I do refer to the chimpanzee in this discussion as a monkey, largely because it's a monkey in the title and they call it a monkey in the episode. But after I finished recording this, I kind of thought to myself, I'm pretty sure that's a chimpanzee. And I checked, and yeah, that's apparently the case. So my apologies for saying monkey when it seems like Ginger is actually a chimpanzee. Just wanted to clear that up. And from now on, I will be referring to it as a monkey. Too Much Monkey Business is the 18th episode of the 5th season of Full House. This is directed by Joel Zwick, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. It's definitely not one of my favourites, and that's largely because I don't like monkeys. It's not so much that I don't like them, it's more that I'm kind of scared by them. Not phobic, but they kind of just creep me out a little bit. I think they're basically very strong, and I feel like if they did the wrong thing, or if a human did the wrong thing and it caused the monkey to act aggressively, I feel like I would lose that battle. And I just have this underlying fear of monkeys. So I didn't really like that part of the episode. And that's definitely a lot of the episode. But there are other things going on as well. And I'll talk about each of the parts of the narrative in turn. It starts off with a monkey at the door. Michelle answers the door and has this brilliant facial expression, and it turns out that this is Danny's sister's monkey. Danny's sister, Wendy, is played by Darlene Vogel, and I will admit, as much as I am creeped out by the monkey, I did like its interaction with Jessie. It was all over Jessie, and I loved Becky's response to this throughout the episode. And the monkey is kind of involved in little bits of the narrative here and there, so we'll talk about that as we go through things. Joey, obviously being a friend of Danny's when they were younger, is familiar with Wendy, and they maybe had a love-hate relationship growing up. Basically, Joey would pull pranks all the time. Big surprise. And actually, it turns out he's rather smitten with her now, and she feels the same way. And Danny spends the episode trying to get Joey to not go out with her. And I've seen this episode before and I couldn't remember how it played out. And I was really surprised when Danny finally explained to Joey why he didn't want him to date his sister. And I assumed it's because not necessarily Joey's not good enough, but obviously his best friend dating his sister. It can work in some sitcoms, but for Danny, he didn't want this to happen. But actually, it's because he was trying to protect Joey, because his sister is married to her work and would take off at a moment's notice to go somewhere, to travel somewhere, and Joey would be left feeling lonely and heartbroken. And I really didn't expect that, and I thought that was really sweet. Really lovely that Danny was actually looking out for Joey rather than his sister. And Wendy as a character, absolutely fine. She's not the most fascinating, but she's interesting enough. And then we have part of the story focusing on, well, Kimmy is over at the house and she and DJ are doing beauty makeovers. And as much as I don't like the monkey, I was very keen to see the results after it kind of fiddled with some of the beauty products. And the next thing we see with that is Kimmy with, well, a very different hairstyle. And Stephanie and Michelle come into the room with mouths wide open, shocked. And Kimmy hasn't seen herself yet. And she says to them, "Do I look that stunning?" To which Stephanie replies, "I'm definitely stunned," which I quite liked. And I love the fact that actually, when Kimmy looked in the mirror, she loved it. She really liked it. I think, I didn't write it down, but I think she said she was ahead of Madonna with her trend setting. So actually, I was really pleased for Kimmy that she really liked that final outcome. We also have part of the narrative, the last part to discuss, focusing on this statue. An order arrives with just Tanner on it, no first name. So Stephanie decides to rip into the parcel because who knows, maybe it's for her. And there's this statue. And there's a note on it saying, "Feed me or a curse will fall upon your house." And Michelle is quite scared, but Stephanie doesn't believe in curses. Of course, it's not real. And then she kind of taps it on its head and its eyes start to glow red. I didn't think it was scary looking. until the ice started glowing. And Stephanie's carrying it around with her for the bulk of the episode, which is brilliant. And there's this scene in the kitchen where they have all of these foods out, and Stephanie and Michelle are trying to work out how to feed the statue, because as she said, it's just a head on a stick. And Danny is obviously in the middle of this chaos with Joey and Wendy and the monkey, and he just kind of runs past and asks Stephanie what she's doing, to which she replies, "I'm trying to stop the horrible curse on this household." And Danny's response was, "Oh, well, keep trying." And off he runs again, which I thought was brilliant. And we do find out how to feed it, because it turns out it was for Wendy, which I think was kind of obvious. I feel like that was definitely obvious. And the food is money. It's a piggy bank. Well, it's not a pig, but it's a money bank. And it says thank you. And when it said thank you for being fed, it was definitely a lot less menacing, a lot less terrifying. And I rather enjoyed that part of the narrative. I thought it was very entertaining. It's definitely not my favourite episode as a whole, though. The monkey just makes me feel uncomfortable, because I just feel like any monkey would overpower me in any situation, and I think that's kind of scary. That being said, I'm not exactly scared of big cats. I love big cats, and I feel like they'd overpower me in any situation. They would. Of course they would. Either way, I'm kind of creeped out by monkeys, so whenever they appear in films or TV shows, I just... Put it this way, if I was acting in that episode, or any episode with a monkey, I'd be very uncomfortable. Even something like Marcel in Friends. Marcel is quite a small, I believe, capuchin monkey, and I'd still be very uncomfortable. So that's kind of why I don't love this episode, but that's obviously nothing wrong with the episode. It works very well. There's a lot going on. Definitely a good story, a well-written narrative with a lot of suspense. The suspense of wondering what will happen with the beauty treatments, of trying to work out what the feed me means, what could that possibly mean, and not so much suspense with why Danny was trying to stop Joey, because I feel like it was understandable to believe that he was trying to protect his sister, but then it kind of came out of nowhere that he was trying to protect Joey. But I really enjoyed that part of it, and in general, it's a good episode, just definitely not a personal favourite.